slides?
Yes, Doc.
Yes. Okay, sorry hindi ko mapagana yung pointer ko. But looking on this slide, as you can see here, this is just the overview of lipid metabolism. So triglyceride during fasting period and prolonged starvation is being degraded, and then the fatty acid from your adipose tissue is mobilized, and then it will undergo oxidation inside the cell, okay? And once it is oxidized to acetyl-CoA, then it enters down the Krebs cycle to be converted to ATP. And then from fatty acid oxidation also, the acetyl-CoA product can be used for cholesterol biosynthesis. And in your liver, fatty acid oxidation is followed by ketogenesis, where you produce your ketone bodies, okay? And then the fatty acid, okay, can serve as not only as source of energy, but this can be part of your membrane, part of your phospholipids. And kanina, in your chemistry, I mentioned that your membrane phospholipids, especially your phosphatidyl inositol, can generate inositol triphosphate as the signaling molecule. Okay? Ngayon, during well-fed state naman, baliktad, paakyat sa taas. Okay? So well-fed state, that's the time that you store your fatty acid as triglyceride. Okay? And simply, you stored energy para during times na hindi kumain, especially during prolonged starvation, this will be the source of energy. Okay? So just a review again of digestion and absorption of lipids. So mainly, fats, okay, will be digested by enzyme. But the question is, where will you start digesting fats? Will it start in your mouth, in your stomach, or in your small intestine? For carbo, digestion starts in your mouth. How about lipids? Saan nag-start ang digestion?
Small intestine.
Small intestine. May iba pang answer? Meron na bang fat digestion in the mouth, or in the stomach, or in the small intestine? But you're right, you have digestion in the small intestine. Major digestion of fats occurs in your small intestine. But actually, digestion of fats starts in the stomach. And you have this enzyme known as lingual lipase. And minsan, sa ibang book, ang tawag doon is a gastric lipase. Why? Ang sabi nila, it is secreted in your mouth, in your salivary glands. But digestion of fats actually starts in the stomach, hindi sa mouth. Why? Because yung enzyme daw na yon, it needs an acidic pH. So digestion of lipid, tandaan nyo, kung natanong kayo, it will start in your stomach. Especially true for babies. Okay? Yung kanilang milk fat, the digestion starts in the stomach. Okay? But major part of digestion will occur in your small intestine. So, before fats will be digested, again, it has to be emulsified. And how do you emulsify fats? Two ways, okay? First is in the presence of bile salt, okay? And peristaltic movement of the small intestine. And then the pancreas, of course, is important for digestion because you need these hormones like your CCK or pancreocymin. So ang function lang naman ito in the digestion of fats will be CCK or cholecystokinin promotes gallbladder contraction and release of bile, release of pancreatic enzyme, and decrease gastric motility. So importante itong tatlo na to as function of your cholecystokinin para you have the slow release of food from the stomach to the small intestine. Then another hormone needed is secretin, which will promote bicarbonate secretion. Why do you need bicarbonate to digest fats? Because the enzyme like pancreatic lipase is active at an alkaline pH. So kailangan mo ng bicarbonate. Remember, food coming from the stomach is acidic kasi may HCl yon. So it has to be neutralized by bicarbonate, okay? So bile salt, again, it is derived mainly from cholesterol, okay? And the main function of your bile is to emulsify fat. So Pag tinanong kayo, is bile synonymous or same with bile salt? The answer is no. Why? Because bile has three major components. Ano yung three major components of bile? Cholesterol, bile salt, and phospholipid. So bile salt is just a component of bile. Okay? May difference ba yung hepatic bile sa gallbladder bile? Anong answer niyo dyan? Kasi natanong din to sa board eh. The gallbladder bile is more concentrated than the hepatic bile. Okay? Kaya pagka wala ng gallbladder yung pasyente dahil nagkaroon ng cholecystectomy, post-cholecystectomy, actually, you need to advise this patient without the gallbladder na huwag masyadong kakain ng matataba. Why? Kasi usually, ito yung history ng mga without the gallbladder. After eating LDL, lechon de leche, ginataan, nagkakaroon sila ng diarrhea o nag-steatorrhea. Why? Kasi ang daming fats na na-intake, yung bile na na-secrete is diluted coming from the liver. Kasi wala na silang gallbladder. Okay? So again, gallbladder bile is concentrated compared to hepatic bile. Okay? So pag walang gallbladder, medyo konti iwas sa mga matatabang pagkain. Okay? So again, your bile is produced in your hepatocyte, in your liver, and actually ito yung mga tinatawag nating mga receptor for the liver to secrete bile, okay? So ito yung mga receptor, but hindi naman siguro matatanong, but this is how the liver produces bile, okay? There will be secretion of bile salt, phospholipid, and cholesterol. Okay? And this is the daily secretion of bile. And take note, mas maraming bile salt and phospholipid compared to cholesterol. So kung mahilig kayong kumain ng LDL, lechon de leche, ang taas ng cholesterol intake nyo, and then your bile will be super saturated with cholesterol, what will happen? Ano yung condition na pwede mag-arise if the bile is super saturated with cholesterol? Kasi yung diet mo ay high cholesterol diet. Anyone? Kung everyday
Gallbladder
na
stones.
gallstone, cholesterol, gallstone. So ingat tayo sa cholesterol, ano? Hindi lang atherosclerosis, but chance of getting developing cholesterol gallstone is high. Of course, gallstone naman, dalawang klase yan eh. Cholesterol and the pigment. Yung mga may problem with hemolysis, okay, nagpipigment gallstone yun, ano? Pero mas common ang cholesterol gallstone due to high intake of or high cholesterol containing food. Okay? So biliary lipid transport. Okay? So again, from the liver, i-store yan sa gallbladder. Tapos pag may food ka na sa small intestine, then the gallbladder contracts and you have the release of the concentrated bile. So once the food or the fat is emulsified, then the enzyme now will act on your emulsified fats, producing these digested lipids. So tandaan din sa exam, okay? Baka matanong kasi nasa pool ito. When triglyceride is digested by pancreatic lipase, ang product nyo will be 2 molecules of fatty acid plus monoglyceride. So, ibig sabihin, yung triglyceride mo with 3 fatty acid, hindi lahat natatanggal ang fatty acid. May natitirang isa at carbon 2. So, the product will be 2 fatty acid and monoglyceride. Okay? And then once digested, this will now form your intestinal micelle. Okay? So, you have now the digested products. It will adhere to your intestinal mucosa and it will be absorbed in your enterocyte. And inside the enterocyte, pag pumasok yan, it will be resynthesized back to its original form. So yung pre-cholesterol mo plus fatty acid, magiging cholesterol ester. Okay? Yung fatty acid plus monoglyceride, magiging triglyceride, and your phospholipid, okay? back to its original form. And together, inside the enterocyte, it will be assembled as, ano yung exogenous transporter of triglyceride again? With apoprotein B, that is your chylomicron, okay? So it will go to your lymphatics, okay? And then, from the lymphatic circulation, draining to your thoracic duct, to your left subclavian vein, then to your systemic circulation. In your capillaries, meron tayong enzyme known as LPL or lipoprotein lipase. Okay? Ang action nito, it acts on your chylomicron, hydrolyzing the triglyceride into free fatty acid. Okay? Tapos yung free fatty acid will enter the tissue. So that's how the chylomicron will transport your fatty acid to the different tissues. Through the action of what enzyme? Lipoprotein lipase. Okay? So this is the most important pathway in lipid metabolism. This is lipogenesis. Simply, it means what? Fatty acid synthesis. So all fatty acid in our body can be synthesized except for two. What are the two essential fatty acid? Anyone? Ano na-remember?
Linoleic and alpha-linolenic.
Very good. So alam nyo na, mayroong alpha, no? Linoleic and alpha-linolenic acid, okay? And among the three types of lipogenesis, the most important is extramitochondrial lipogenesis, which occurs in your cytoplasm. Yung microsomal and mitochondrial, minor lang yan, okay? And remember, in lipogenesis, there will be addition of 2 carbon atoms per cycle, okay? So ito yung difference ng tatlong types of lipogenesis. So yung extramitochondrial lipogenesis is also known as the de novo type, okay? So medyo napabilis, ano? It's the de novo type. Wherein the substrate is acetyl-CoA, the end product is palmitic acid, okay? So ito lang ang tatandaan nyo. In lipogenesis, before you add 2 carbon atoms, there are 3 reactions involved na mamaya mababaliktad yan sa beta oxidation. So in lipogenesis, remember the 3 reactions: reduction, dehydration, and reduction. Okay? So first step in lipogenesis is the production of acetyl-CoA. So where is this acetyl-CoA? It is inside the mitochondria. Okay? So that acetyl-CoA is needed for lipogenesis in the cytoplasm. So may problema tayo. Because the acetyl-CoA cannot pass through the mitochondrial membrane. Hindi makalabas ang acetyl-CoA from the mitochondria, which is needed in the cytoplasm for lipogenesis. So for this acetyl-CoA to pass through the mitochondrial membrane or to go to your cytoplasm, it must be converted to citrate first. Pag naging citrate yung acetyl-CoA na, makakalabas na siya sa mitochondria. Ito yung tinatawag natin sa lipogenesis as the citrate shuttle system. Okay? And a major source, a major source of acetyl-CoA for lipogenesis is glucose. Okay, so take note. Carbohydrate, glucose is converted to fats, converted to fatty acid. Okay, so of course, common sa inyo to, no? Glucose to pyruvate is your aerobic glycolysis. Inside the mitochondria, you have the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase, which will convert pyruvate to acetyl-CoA. Okay? And that is the major substrate for the de novo pathway of lipogenesis. So, question again. How did acetyl-CoA get into the cytoplasm? Through what shuttle system? Citrate shuttle. So kung nare-remember nyo to, acetyl-CoA plus oxaloacetate, through the action of citrate synthase, you produce citrate. Saan nyo na-encounter itong reaction na to? Acetyl-CoA plus oxaloacetate through the action of citrate synthase. This is the first step in the Krebs cycle. Very good, okay? So kasi, ang problema nga natin, yung acetyl-CoA cannot pass through the membrane of the mitochondria. So it must be converted first to citrate. And as citrate, it can pass through the mitochondrial membrane. Lalabas siya sa cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, citrate is converted back to acetyl-CoA plus oxaloacetate by citrate lyase. So pag tinignan nyo lang yung picture, inside the mitochondria, utilizing the first step of the Krebs cycle, acetyl plus oxaloacetate, through the action of citrate synthase, you produce your citrate. Okay? And then as citrate, lalabas siya sa cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, magiging acetyl-CoA yan. And as shown here, yung arrow natin, acetyl-CoA enters the pathway of lipogenesis. Fatty acid synthase, and then it is converted to palmitic acid, your end product of lipogenesis. And then furthermore, yung oxaloacetate natin, it will be converted to malate, and then malate to pyruvate, pyruvate back to acid to the mitochondria. Okay, just to give emphasis, the malic enzyme reaction, yung nasa taas, ano, yung malate to pyruvate. Here, in the malic enzyme reaction, you will be producing NADPH, which is a reducing equivalent needed for fatty acid synthesis. Okay, so in fatty acid synthesis, you will be needing reducing equivalents like NADPH, derived from malic enzyme. Okay, it's another way of showing the citrate shuttle system. Okay, so that is the acetyl-CoA inside in your cytoplasm, and the first reaction in lipogenesis is the conversion of acetyl-CoA to malonyl-CoA. By what enzyme? Madaling tandaan yung enzyme. Take note. Ang pangalan ng enzyme ay acetyl-CoA kasi ang substrate ay acetyl-CoA. Ang reaction ay carboxylation. So the name of the enzyme is acetyl-CoA carboxylase. And this is the most important enzyme because this is what you consider as the rate-limiting enzyme. Okay? So the rate-limiting enzyme in lipogenesis is acetyl-CoA carboxylase. When it acts on acetyl-CoA, acetyl-CoA is converted to malonyl-CoA. So ito rin yung tinatawag nating committed step. Ibig sabihin, pag na-convert yung acetyl-CoA to malonyl-CoA, your acetyl-CoA is committed to this pathway of lipogenesis. Kasi remember, yung acetyl-CoA nyo, pwedeng pumasok sa Krebs cycle. Pwedeng pumasok sa cholesterol biosynthesis. Pwedeng maging ketone bodies yan sa ketogenesis. Pero once you converted acetyl-CoA to malonyl-CoA, the acetyl-CoA is committed for this pathway of lipogenesis. Okay? So, rate-limiting step, committed step, yan yung mga tawag natin, ano? On this slide, ang isa pang importante na kailangan alamin nyo is yung biotin. Ano ba yung biotin? This is vitamin B, anong number? What is biotin?
7.
B7, very good, okay? And biotin, vitamin B7, is a cofactor of acetyl-CoA carboxylase, okay? Ibig sabihin, pag walang biotin, walang lipogenesis, right? Okay, so yan. Two-step lang naman yung formation. You need ATP. Okay. Then once you have the malonyl-CoA, another enzyme is malonyl transacylase, converting it to malonyl ACP. Ngayon, para madali nyong i-memorize at matandaan ang lipogenesis, you only need to remember two enzyme. Dalawa lang yan. First is acetyl-CoA carboxylase, and the second enzyme is fatty acid synthase complex. Bakit dalawa lang pinapa-remember ko sa inyo? Don't remember malonyl transacylase. Why? Just remember fatty acid synthase. It is a complex enzyme, meaning it's a multi-subunit enzyme. Marami siyang protein, polypeptide chain. And each polypeptide chain has different enzymatic action. So lahat ng enzyme na gagamitin sa lipogenesis is found in fatty acid synthase complex. Nagkakaintindihan? So nandyan yung malonyl transacylase, ketoacyl synthase, hydratase, enol reductase, ketoacyl reductase, thioesterase. Okay? Kaya madali lang ang lipogenesis aralin. Ano yung dalawang enzyme needed in lipogenesis? Again, fatty acid, synthase complex, and ano yung rate limiting? Acetyl-CoA carboxylase. Okay? So itong mga nakikita nyo na enzyme, acetyl transacylase, ketoacyl synthase is what? Component siya ng anong enzyme? Fatty acid synthase. Okay? So this is the first condensation reaction. Okay? Then, ito na yung paulit-ulit na reaction. Reduction. You have the NADPH derived from Malic enzyme reaction at ang isa pa na pinagkukunan natin ng NADPH is HMP shunt. Okay? Sa carbohydrate metabolism pathway. So, reduction followed by dehydration, loss of water, followed by reduction. Okay? So, after reduction, dehydration, reduction, you will be adding 2 carbon atoms. Okay? So, again, these are the sources of NADPH, HMP shunt, and the Malic enzyme reaction. And then, you just repeat the reaction and you add 2 carbon atoms. So, you repeat reduction, dehydration, reduction, okay? Until you produce the final product, which is palmitic acid, okay? So, pag tinignan nyo sa book, ito lang yon. Paulit-ulit, okay? Uulitin yung reduction, dehydration, and reduction. Then you add 2 carbon atoms. So, just to summarize lipogenesis, it occurs in the cytoplasm. You need to convert first acetyl-CoA to malonyl-CoA by the rate-limiting enzyme or committed step catalyzed by acetyl-CoA carboxylase. And the cofactor is biotin. Okay? And take note, the committed step, the acetyl-CoA carboxylase enzyme can be subjected to a negative feedback inhibition, meaning whenever you have now excess of the palmitic acid as the product, it will inhibit acetyl-CoA carboxylase, and that will stop the process of lipogenesis. Okay, abidin. Ano ba tong abidin na to? This is a protein found in raw egg white. Raw egg white. Meron ba sa inyong umiinom ng raw egg white? Is it good to drink raw egg white? Yung iba sinasabi pampapayat. Bakit? What is that protein found in raw egg white? It is your abidin. And what is the action of abidin? It inhibits the committed step by binding and removing biotin from the reaction. So meaning, abidin destroy biotin. And without biotin, then lipogenesis will be inhibited. So kung gusto niyong pumayat, iinom kayo ng raw egg whites. It should be raw. Bakit? Kasi pagka-cook na yung egg white mo, abidin is a protein and it will be denatured. So wala nang function yung abidin. Inactive na siya. But I don't advise you to try drinking egg white, raw egg white, para lang pumayat, ano? Bakit? Kasi baka magkaroon kayo ng HIV. Ano yung HIV? Hindi
Hair
siya
is
yung...
vanished.
Yan, very good. Alam mo na, no? Hair is vanishing. Okay. Payat ka, sexy ka. Kasi hindi ka nagla-lipogenesis, walang fatty acid synthesis, ano? Because your biotin is destroyed by abidin. But take note, abidin will cause biotin deficiency. And one manifestation of biotin deficiency is hair loss. Malalagas yung buhok, ano? Hair is vanishing. So tama, you're right. HIV is hair is vanishing. So do not try, ha? Baka kasi malagas ang buhok. Plus baka mag-salmonellosis pa kayo. Okay, sa regulation siguro wala masyado. But bigyan ko lang ng emphasis, ano? Ano yung hormone na nag-stimulate ng lipogenesis? Hormonal regulation. Insulin makes the enzyme acetyl-CoA carboxylase active. Kasi ang active form ng acetyl-CoA carboxylase is dephosphorylated. So, insulin promotes lipogenesis. At ang tawag ko sa insulin ay fat storing hormone. Nakakataba. Bakit? Kasi nagpo-promote siya ng lipogenesis. And when do you secrete insulin? When your sugar is high, di ba? Kaya huwag kain ng kain. Kasi pag lagi mataas ang sugar, ang tendency is for you to secrete insulin. And insulin promotes lipogenesis. So anong tawag natin sa insulin? Fat storing hormone. Okay? On the other hand, glucagon and epinephrine, iba naman to. It prevents lipogenesis. Kasi it makes the enzyme phosphorylated. Pag phosphorylated ang acetyl-CoA carboxylase, inactive yan. So glucagon and epinephrine inhibits lipogenesis. Siya naman yung pampapayat. Ano? So pag di ka kumain, nag-hypoglyc ka, you secrete your glucagon and your epinephrine. Okay? And that will prevent lipogenesis. Oh, again, what is the effect of abidine on lipogenesis? Will it increase or will it inhibit lipogenesis? Anyone?
Inhibit daw.
Okay, so abidine from raw egg whites inhibits lipogenesis. Okay? Nutritional state that favors lipogenesis. Siyempre, pag bagong kain, especially with high carbohydrate diet, that favors lipogenesis. So, tignan nyo ha. Kanina sabi natin, sa lipogenesis, ang substrate is acetyl-CoA. And that acetyl-CoA is mainly derived from glucose. Okay? So, nakakataba yon yung simple sugar. Especially sucrose, which is made up of glucose and fructose. Okay? Nutritional state. Ano daw yung nakaka-inhibit ng lipogenesis? Restricted caloric intake. So, hindi ka masyadong kumain. Actually, pag in-spell nyo, fasting, that prevents lipogenesis. Pero pag kumain ka, mag-insert kayo ng letter E sa fasting. Ano yung makikreate yung word? You insert letter E sa fasting. Ano yon? Anong word yon?
Feasting po.
Ayun, opposite ano? Fiesta. Fasting plus letter E, feasting. So, feasting promotes lipogenesis. So, pag lagi kayong naka-Vikings, only yung rice nyo, ayan, magkakaroon kayo ng fat synthesis, okay? Lipogenesis. High fat diet. Ketogenic diet. Is ketogenic diet high fat diet? Anyone? Nag-try ba kayo ng ketogenic diet? Anong kinakain pag ketogenic diet? May carbs? No carbs? More of fat?
More fat.
More fat.
Okay, di ba sa ketogenic diet, more of fats, ano? Halos hindi kumakain ng carbs. So, ang source of energy nila is carbs. And that is dangerous. Bakit? Di ba yesterday, ang lecture ko sa inyo, ang brain, anong energy ng brain natin? 80% of energy for the brain is from glucose. Puro fats ang kinain mo. Paano ang brain mo? Okay? The idea is, kaya nauso ang ketogenic diet because high-fat diet decreases lipogenesis. Kaya pumapayat ang ating yung mga kumakain ng more of fats because of its negative inhibition on the pathway of lipogenesis. But again, I don't encourage ketogenic diet ha, kasi ngayon ata nakikita nila nagkakaroon ng mga atrial fibrillation yung ketogenic diet because it is bad for your heart, okay? Yung sobrang taba. Then another is deficiency of insulin. Siyempre, yung type 1 DM. Ang type 1 DM ba mataba or lean compared to type 2 DM? Di ba mas lean sila, no? Kasi if they lack insulin, again, sabi natin, insulin is a fat storing hormone. So with deficiency of insulin, then lipogenesis is inhibited. Okay? Okay, siguro ito hindi na. Huwag na natin i-discuss. Ano? Yan. Okay lang kung ang high-fat diet mo is more of polyunsaturated fatty acid, not the saturated fatty acid, okay? Okay, so this is just a combination of glycolysis from the top, okay? Yung glucose to pyruvate, then pyruvate to acetyl-CoA, and then that acetyl-CoA will be used for lipogenesis. So just to emphasize na you produce fatty acid out of glucose, okay? Ito yung importante sa pathway na to. And the allosteric inhibitor and activator of lipogenesis, okay? So, allosteric activator for lipogenesis, the activator of acetyl-CoA carboxylase is citrate. Okay? So, sabi nga natin, the more citrate, then mas maraming acetyl-CoA for lipogenesis. So, it's an allosteric activator for acetyl-CoA carboxylase. On the other hand, yung end product palmitate is considered as allosteric inhibitor. That's the negative feedback inhibitor. Inhibitor of acetyl-CoA carboxylase. How about insulin? Ano ang effect ng insulin? It decreases your cyclic AMP. It inhibits your kinase. So pag decrease ang cyclic AMP, inhibited ang kinase, your acetyl-CoA carboxylase is dephosphorylated. And that is the active form. So insulin promotes lipogenesis, which is being antagonized by glucagon and epinephrine. Yung glucagon and epinephrine, pinapataas ang cyclic AMP, ina-activate ang kinase, ipophosphorylate ang acetyl-CoA carboxylase. So pag phosphorylated ang acetyl-CoA carboxylase mo, inactive yan. And that prevents lipogenesis. Okay? So this is just the pathway of lipogenesis. Nakikita nyo yung NADPH reduction, loss of water, dehydration, and another NADPH reduction. Then you add 2 carbon atoms. So the cycle will be repeated. Reduction, dehydration, reduction. So that's the active form of acetyl-CoA carboxylase, which is dephosphorylated. Okay? Ayan. Pag walang phosphate, active. Pag may phosphate, inactive ang acetyl-CoA carboxylase. So these are the different fatty acids again. So all of these can be synthesized except for 2, linoleic and alpha-linolenic. Okay? So that's just the summary of lipogenesis. Okay? So next is the synthesis of your eicosanoids. So dalawa lang naman yung pathway natin, ano? So this is how you convert linoleic to arachidonic acid. So you have 2 pathways for the arachidonic. So take note, this fatty acid is derived from the membrane phospholipid. Okay? So for this arachidonic acid to be converted to the different prostaglandin and leukotrienes, it has to be released from your membrane phospholipid. Okay? And the enzyme that releases arachidonic acid is phospholipase A2. Okay? Phospholipase A2. Which is actually activated by epinephrine, thrombin, bradykinin, and so on. Okay? So kung medyo stress ka, you activate your phospholipase A2 and then the arachidonic acid is released. When released from the membrane, then you have 2 pathways. Yung cyclooxygenase and the lipoxygenase pathway. In your cyclooxygenase pathway, arachidonic acid is converted to prostaglandin and thromboxane. While lipoxygenase, you produce your leukotriene and lipoxine. Question, kung nag-take ka ng fish oil, your omega-3 fatty acid, saan na i-incorporate yung mga fish oil natin, yung mga omega-3 fatty acid? From the fish oil supplement. So, syempre, uminom ka ng capsule, fish oil. Papasok sa intestine, ma-absorb. Where will it go? Ano ang fate ng mga EPA mo and DHA from the fish oil supplement? It will be part of the membrane phospholipid. So, ibig sabihin, if you're taking your fish oil supplement, it is part of the membrane phospholipid. And on this slide, instead na arachidonic yung nare-release from the membrane, it will be your DHA and EPA. And you produce different series of prostaglandin, and leukotrienes. Okay? So, yun. And then, looking on this slide, meron tayo isang condition known as AIA. Ano yung AIA? Aspirin-induced asthma. Again, what is the mechanism of aspirin? What is the mechanism of action of aspirin? It is inhibitor of
Cyclooxygenase.
Okay. So pag nag-inhibit nyo yung cyclooxygenase, syempre, hindi na-convert ang arachidonic acid to prostaglandin and thromboxane. So there will be more arachidonic acid that will be acted upon by lipoxygenase producing leukotrienes. So huwag kayong basta magbibigay ng siya na may asthma. Example, nasa ER, nag-chest pain, ang binigay nung isang duty ay aspirin kasi nga nag-chest pain. And then after 1 hour, pagbalik mo, nagdi-difficulty of breathing. Pag auscultate, may wheezing sound. Baka it's an aspirin-induced asthma. Kasi nga, yung arachidonic, dahil pinigilan mong mapunta sa prostaglandin pathway, nagkaroon ka ng more synthesis of leukotrienes. So you call that condition as AIA, aspirin-induced asthma. Okay? So before you give aspirin, you ask kung may asthma yung pasyente. Okay? So again, just to emphasize, there are different series of eicosanoids. May even number series, which is derived from arachidonic acid, and the odd number series, your TXA3, is derived from omega-3 fatty acid, your EPA and DHA. And sabi nga sa literature, your omega-3 fatty acid will give rise to an anti-inflammatory eicosanoids. While the omega-6 family, your arachidonic acid, will produce eicosanoids that are inflammatory in effects. Okay? Kaya yung iba, pag may ayaw magbigay ng steroids, they give high dose of omega-3 fatty acid as an anti-inflammatory agent. Okay? Okay, so ito lang yung mga pathway how you produce the different eicosanoids. Okay? And your leukotrienes. So this is how you release your arachidonic acid through the action of phospholipase A2 and being acted upon by cyclooxygenase, producing your prostaglandin, prostacyclin, and your thromboxane. And then this is the cyclooxygenase pathway, okay, producing your leukotrienes, okay. So, wag na yan. So, cyclooxygenase as a suicide enzyme. So meaning once they are expressed, they will automatically destroyed. Okay? So that's a catalyzed reaction. So ito yung reason kung minsan you have dysmenorrhea without taking any medication, nawawala yung pain. Because yung body natin has a way to limit the production of prostaglandin by inactivating the cyclooxygenase. And we have also the enzyme that inactivates the prostaglandin. And this is your 15-hydroxyprostaglandin dehydrogenase. Okay? So it can be destroyed by, the prostaglandin can be destroyed by this enzyme. And then, ito, familiar na kayo sa two forms of COX-1 and COX-2. So COX-1 is for mucus production. COX-2, ito yung involved talaga sa formation of inflammatory mediators. So the NSAIDs inhibits both COX-1 and COX-2. So the side effect of these NSAIDs like your aspirin, ibuprofen, and mefenamic acid is GI irritation. But newer drugs, you have the specific COX-2 inhibitor. So yung mga post-surgical patient, usually ang piniprescribe is the COX-2 inhibitor, okay? Like your celecoxib with less GIT irritation. Okay. So Alitelopharma. So steroid drugs, these are good. These drugs are anti-inflammatory because it inhibits the enzyme phospholipase A2. And then yung cyclooxygenase is the target of your NSAIDs. And then for the blood thinner, you have your imidazole and your dipyridamole inhibiting your thromboxane synthase. Okay? Okay, so ito medyo toxic lang, ano, itong particular slide. But those are the effects of your eicosanoids. Okay? Next, the synthesis of triglyceride. Okay? Ito lang ang tatandaan nyo. Fatty acids are stored for future use as triglyceride in all cells, but primarily in your adipocyte. So you store your tag in your adipocyte. So how do you produce your triglyceride? In your adipocyte, okay, ang building block, ang tatandaan nyo is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. But in other tissues, for triglyceride synthesis, the building block is glycerol. So, ibig sabihin, para gumawa ng triglyceride sa adipocyte, ang kailangan mo ay glucose. Because dihydroxyacetone phosphate is an intermediate of glycolysis. So, whenever you have a patient na mataas ang triglyceride, ano yung main culprit? Is it fat or carbo or glucose? Pag mataas ang triglyceride.
Glucose.
Yeah, high intake of simple sugar. High intake of carbo, mainly sugar. Kaya pag mataas ang triglyceride ng pasyente, tatanungin nyo kagad, gaano karami kumain ng kanin? O tinapay? Okay? Kasi may pasyente ako, mataas ang triglyceride, hindi kumakain ng bread, hindi kumakain ng rice, pero ang taas ng triglyceride. Kaya ang tinanong ko, ano yung favorite food mo? Pulburon. Okay, ano ba yung pulburon? Starch and sugar. Ayun, kaya mataas ang triglyceride niya. So always remember, when triglyceride is increased, the main culprit is carbohydrate. Excessive intake of carbs. Okay? So, okay, mahaba lang tong pathway na to. Okay, so that's how you produce your triglyceride. Very simple. Okay? From dihydroxyacetone phosphate, from glycerol, you have these simple steps and then it is easily converted to triglyceride. Okay? So, tandaan uli, kapag adipocyte, paano nagpo-produce ng triglyceride? Ano ang substrate? Dihydroxyacetone phosphate from glucose. Other tissues, how do you synthesize triglyceride in other tissues like the liver? Ano yung initial substrate? Glycerol. Bakit magkaibang substrate nila for triglyceride synthesis? Because other tissues has the enzyme glycerol kinase. But in your adipocyte, wala siyang glycerol kinase. So ang ginagamit is dihydroxyacetone phosphate from glucose. Okay. So tapos na yung triglyceride synthesis. How about phospholipid synthesis? Okay, huwag na masyado to, but this is just the conversion of your different phospholipids, okay? So, yan, makikita nyo yung iba-ibang phospholipid, okay? Your phosphatidylinositol, phosphatidylglycerol. Okay, what is important is how it is degraded. What are the enzymes? So, you have phospholipase A1, phospholipase A2, phospholipase C, and phospholipase D. Kanina, nung na-release ang arachidonic acid, ano yung enzyme na nag-release ng arachidonic acid from the membrane phospholipid?
A2.
Phospholipase A2. Kasi yung carbon 2 daw, usually, ang nakakabit na fatty acid doon ay unsaturated fatty acid. Okay? And arachidonic is unsaturated fatty acid. So tandaan nyo lang, pag A1 sa carbon 1, and usually, ang nakalink sa carbon 1 is saturated fatty acid. Sa carbon 2 is unsaturated fatty acid. Okay? Kaya lang, yung bagong Harper ngayon, yung bagong edition, may nadagdag na phospholipase. So baka matanong sa exam, magulat kayo, ang alam nyo lang A1, A2, C, and D. Meron ngayong bago, phospholipase B. Pero don't worry, ang function ng phospholipase B is similar with phospholipase A1 and A2. Okay? So just in case lang, may pumasok bigla phospholipase B. It acts on carbon 1 and carbon 2. Okay, sphingolipids. May question? Gutom na ba kayo? Pwede kayong kumain habang nakikinig. Ako gutom na rin eh. Okay? So, ano uli yung parent compound ng phospholipids? From the word phospholipid, ano yung parent compound? Para madaling matandaan.
Phosphatidic acid.
Very good, Pat. Phosphatidic acid. Pagdating sa sphingolipid, ano yung parent compound? Ceramide. Okay, so yan natatandaan nyo lang ha, ceramide. Tapos, iba-iba na kung anong idinagdag mo, no? So, to produce your ceramide, kailangan mo ng palmitic acid and the amino acid serine. Okay? And the alcohol is sphingosine plus fatty acid, you produce your ceramide. Tapos, yung ceramide, okay, pag dinagdagan mo ng ito muna, phosphocholine coming from lecithin, phosphatidycholine is lecithin. Ceramide plus phosphocholine from lecithin, you produce sphingomyelin. What is the importance of sphingomyelin? Ano yung importance ng sphingomyelin? From the word myelin, ano yung importance ng sphingomyelin?
Myelination.
Myelination of the nerve fiber. Okay, sa pisyo, tatanungin kayo, sinong mas mabilis mag-conduct ng nerve transmission? So, nerve transmission. Myelinated or unmyelinated nerve fiber?
Myelinated.
Yes, myelinated nerve fiber. So, ibig sabihin, importante ang sphingomyelin para mabilis ang neural transmission, right? Pag yung nerve mo, bako-bako, kulang ka ng sphingomyelin, then you have a problem in neural transmission. Yan ang nararamdaman ng mga diabetic. Nagkakaroon na sila ng neuropathies, no? Decrease sensation, may numbness. Okay? Kaya may mga supplement tayo, no? Combination of B-complex with omega-3 fatty acid. Okay? So, yun. Next, the synthesis of other sphingolipids. So, tatandaan lang naman natin, di ba kanina sa chemistry, ceramide plus monosaccharide, anong product? Cerebroside. So, you produce a glucosyl ceramide or a glucocerebroside. Okay? Then you add another sugar, UDP galactose. Galactose plus glucose is lactose. That is an oligosaccharide. So you produce a lactosyl ceramide. Doon sa kaninang ni-lecture ko, in addition, meron tayong tinatawag na globoside. Globoside. And globoside is a combination of ceramide plus oligosaccharide. Lactose is classified as an oligosaccharide. Ngayon, yung globoside, para maging ganglioside, ang idadagdag nyo is a sialic acid. And an example of sialic acid is CMP-NANA. Ano ba yung NANA? N-acetyl neuraminic acid. So, a ganglioside is composed of ceramide, oligosaccharide, and sialic acid. Kapag ka ceramide lang at saka oligosaccharide, ang product nyo ay globoside. Globoside, okay? Ito, imi-memorize nyo. So, nasa handouts naman to, no? Actually, tinatanong sa exam to. Yung mga different sphingolipid disorder or sphingolipidosis. So, you need to remember the names of the disorder. What is the enzyme defect? Ano yung nag-accumulate kasi hindi na-degrade yung sphingolipids. Okay? And what will be the manifestation? So take note, pag hindi na-degrade yung sphingolipids, nag-accumulate sa organ, ito yung mga problema. May mental retardation, may hepatosplenomegaly, it affects the bones, okay? And there are several of these sphingolipids disorder. So you need to memorize this, okay? Anyway, this is in your handouts naman, okay? From Lippincott, para mas madali nyo i-memorize, I think nasa handouts nyo rin ata to eh. Okay? So, the different sphingolipid disorder. Okay. May question? Okay, lipoprotein. So, ito yung itsura ng lipoprotein, ano? The outer surface is amphipathic, covered with amphipathic lipids, your phospholipid, your precholesterol, your apoprotein. And inside, nandito yung non-polar lipids. Dalawa lang naman yung non-polar lipids na tatandaan nyo. Triglycerides and cholesterol ester. Yan yung dalawang non-polar lipids that will be carried by your lipoprotein. Okay? So ito yung cross-section ng ating lipoprotein. So again, ano yung exogenous transporter of triglyceride?
Chylomicrons.
And what is the endogenous transporter of triglyceride? Kasi it came from the liver.
LDL.
Again, anong nakikita niyo sa picture? This is your BLDL. So BLDL as the endogenous transporter of triglyceride and chylomicron as the exogenous. I think naisama ko rin to. These are the different causes of fatty liver. Okay? So a number one cause of fatty liver here is alcohol. Anong effect ng alcohol or ethanol? It prevents fatty acid oxidation. And ethanol, when metabolized, it will produce your acetyl-CoA and reducing equivalents that will favor lipogenesis. So dalawa yung reason kung bakit nagpa-fatty liver because of alcohol. Okay? Decrease fatty acid oxidation and increase in lipogenesis. Other causes of fatty liver can be diet, kung mataas ang cholesterol intake, or deficiency of essential fatty acid, or there will be drugs or chemicals, okay, yung carbon tetrachloride, or may genetic problem, you cannot produce your apoprotein B, okay? Ayan, puromycin, ethionine. So those are the drugs that may induce fatty liver, okay? So this is your chylomicron. So pag tinrace nyo from the intestine, okay, it will go to the different tissues. And what is the enzyme that acts on your chylomicron? Hydrolyzing your triglyceride para ma-deliver ang fatty acid. Ano yung enzyme na yon? What is LPL again? What is LPL? Yes, very good. Lipoprotein lipase. Okay? So makita nyo, pag nag-act ang lipoprotein lipase sa chylomicron, liliit yung chylomicron mo kasi mababawasan ng triglyceride. And it becomes now a chylomicron remnant and it will go back to your liver. Okay? How about your BLDL? So same fate then with chylomicron. When it enters your capillaries, merong enzyme na lipoprotein lipase, it acts on your BLDL, it hydrolyzes the triglyceride, then magsishrink in size ang BLDL mo, magiging BLDL remnant or IDL. But take note, pag naging IDL na siya yung source ng LDL. Okay? So 50% of BLDL remnant becomes LDL. And what is the function of LDL? This is the lipoprotein that transport cholesterol to the different tissues. Okay? Even to the liver. So, pag tumaas yung triglyceride mo, ine-expect nyo tataas ang BLDL? What is the main carrier of triglyceride in your liver? Tingnan uli natin. Ayan. Ano ang carrier ng triglyceride produced in your liver? It's your BLDL, right? This is your hepatocyte on your right side. So, mataas ang carbo intake, tumaas ang triglyceride, tataas ang BLDL? Yes or no? Tataas?
Yes.
Yes. Pag mataas ang BLDL nyo, tataas ang LDL?
Yes.
Yan. Kaya pag nagpa-lipid profile nyo at nakita nyo, ay, ang taas ng LDL, mataas din ang BLDL, mataas din ang triglyceride. Okay? Kasi LDL is derived from BLDL. Okay? Yung BLDL remnant. How about HDL? We consider it good kasi what is the function of HDL? It removes excess cholesterol from the tissues. dadalhin niya pabalik sa liver. And the HDL is capable of that function, scavenger, cholesterol scavenger. Di ba pag tinawag nyo scavenger, tagatanggal ng mga dumi-dumi, basura, no? So yun, cholesterol scavenger ang HDL. Because of the enzyme found in your HDL, what is that LCAT? Ano ibig sabihin ng LCAT? Lecithin, cholesterol, acyltransferase. Because of that enzyme, yung excess cholesterol is being trapped in your HDL. Kaya we consider HDL as good kasi tagatanggal siya ng excess cholesterol. Okay? So this is just the function of your chylomicron. Okay? So yan, taga-carry yan ng triglyceride, okay, to the different tissues. Yeah. Tapos, pag hindi nag-move yung muscle masyado dahil nakaupo, yung sobrang fats will be stored in your adipocyte. Okay? And it will go back to your liver as chylomicron remnant. So the enzyme that acts on chylomicron is your lipoprotein lipase. So parang balon yan, pinapunction ng lipoprotein lipase. Okay? And then BLDL, same din. Ang pagkakaiba lang, ang laman ng BLDL is vitamin E na lang, hindi lahat ng fat soluble. But it also contains triglyceride and cholesterol. It will be acted upon by your lipase, tapos yung BLDL remnant magiging LDL. Okay? So yan ang difference. Mas madaling ma-metabolize ang chylomicron compared to BLDL when BLDL is converted to LDL. Okay? LDL, mainly it carries your cholesterol, okay? So this is just the summary of lipoprotein metabolism. Chylomicron from the intestine, transporting fatty acid to the different tissues, then it will go back to your liver as remnant. BLDL from your liver, it transports fatty acid to the different tissues. It becomes chylomicron remnant, BLDL remnant or IDL, and then IDL becomes LDL. And then, yung LDL naman will transport cholesterol to your tissues. And then HDL removes that excess cholesterol from the different tissues and transporting that cholesterol to your liver. Okay? So, halos lahat sila nagdadala ng cholesterol sa liver, ano? And what is the fate of cholesterol in your liver? It will be converted and degraded to bile acid. Okay? So again, minomonitor natin pag nagsususpect tayo ng sa lipid profile, it's your LDL that correlates with atherosclerosis. Okay? Although ngayon, may mga bago na silang dinidetect, yung mga apoprotein B, okay? Not only your LDL. Okay. So again, what do you mean by oxidized LDL? Ano yung nasisira uli? It is your unsaturated fatty acid do sa cholesterol ester, no? At saka yung proteins. And once the LDL is oxidized, hindi na yan pumapasok through your LDL receptor. Instead, it will go to your macrophages. Nandoon ng mga scavenger receptor for the oxidized LDL. And this is the one seen in your atheromatous plaque. Okay, so siguro. So this is the tissue macrophage with the oxidized LDL. Okay, this is an old slide, but just to give emphasis that the higher the cholesterol level, the higher is the incidence of mortality or death due to coronary heart disease. Okay? So kailangan regular nagpapalipid profile kayo. Okay, letter B is a case of familial hypercholesterolemia. Anong problema sa familial hypercholesterolemia? There is no LDL receptor. So without the LDL receptor, LDL cannot enter the tissue. So there is decreased LDL clearance and LDL will be oxidized. Pag na-oxidize yung LDL, ang pasok niyan sa macrophages. And that will promote atherosclerosis. Okay? Okay, so there are different scenario here. So pag inano natin yung bile acid, it will go back to your liver through your ileum, di ba? May enterohepatic circulation yan. But there are drugs, in order to decrease the cholesterol, it prevents enterohepatic circulation, like your cholestyramine. So pag makita nyo, yung second structure, you have more LDL receptors sa liver when you give cholestyramine. While the third structure naman dito, yung ating liver and the other tissues, you have more LDL receptors kasi you give a drug that prevents cholesterol biosynthesis, and that is your statin drugs. So this is the mechanism of action of statin drugs. Through inhibition of the HMG-CoA reductase enzyme, okay, cholesterol biosynthesis is inhibited. So bababa ang cholesterol inside the cell. Whenever you have decreased cholesterol inside the cell, more LDL receptors are being produced on the membrane. And the more LDL receptors on the membrane, it increases LDL clearance. So pag sinabing yung LDL clearance, LDL enters the cell. So bababa ang blood LDL level. Okay? So these are the factors that influences HDL level. So again, women has the advantage, more higher HDL level among women